Okay, everybody, we're going to spend a little bit of time learning about how to use the arts, not only to teach social studies, but also math, science, and language arts. I'd like you to start with just asking you to take a minute and respond to that first question that's on the note-taking guide. What is art? You can start right now, and I'll give you about a minute to write your response. Okay, start wrapping up your thoughts, and then we're going to keep moving forward. For most of us, when we think of art, the first thing that comes to mind is the visual arts, such as painting, drawing, all that stuff. But what we want to make sure we think about as educators is that it's not just the visual arts that can be used to teach curriculum. We can also use dramatic arts and music. Photography is another form of art that can be used, and things like slam poetry. So we want to make sure we have a broad conceptualization of what sort of art forms can help our students learn the content we're trying to teach. The second thing that we want to think about is why should we teach with the arts? And there's a number of benefits for students that have been supported by research for over 5 decades. So we really have a lot of strong evidence about why integrating the arts is a powerful choice. Number one is it can make the content more accessible for your students. It really helps them commit it to their memory. Those higher order or critical thinking skills are stimulated in an arts-based environment. It provides opportunities for kids to make those personal connections that can help also sustain their motivation and interest, and of course it motivates them because for lots of kids, music, visual arts, drama, whatever, are very attractive. Many times, though, I think some of you might exclaim this yourself, we'll have students that say, but I'm not creative, so I can't do this. I can't do it. I'm not creative. One of our goals as teachers is also to help our kids understand what creativity is and that we're all creative. So here is the official definition of creativity. There are multiple forms of creativity. There's big C and there's little c. Big C is the one that we typically think of when we exclaim that we're not creative, because we're thinking of art people who get paid to do art. Singers, Beyonce, artists, Picasso. We're like, I'm not like them. Little c, according to psychologists and other scholars, is the type of creativity that we see on a daily basis, that all of us, yes, every single one of us, has, and that needs to be nurtured. The official definition for creativity is originality plus task appropriateness. You do this every single day, right? When you are crafting a response to a question somebody asks you, it's original and you're making sure it's appropriate. You are creating. So we want to help our kids understand that we all have the potential. We all are creative, and that if we nurture those skills, we can get even better at it. So that's one thing I think we need to think about if we're going to teach with the arts, is we have to tackle that belief that a lot of kids have that they're quote-unquote not creative. All right, what exactly does art integration look like? So you see here on the screen, there's sort of learning about the art, learning about art, learning through the arts, learning with the arts. Art as curriculum is the way that most of us have typically experienced it in school. We had a separate art class, right? We went to art, we went to music, we went to band. Okay, that's the typical art as curriculum, separate from our other content areas. Arts enhanced curriculum are the things that we probably are going to be able to do in our classrooms. I'm more than likely, I think you've probably already seen the arts being used so that kids could express what they have learned about a particular subject, and you see that here. A lot of times we'll ask them to draw something or write a short skit, and so they're using the arts to represent their knowledge. But a fully arts integrated curriculum is something really different. So we're actually going to take pause and go watch a video for a couple of minutes here.
matter what. And the arts do that. They give us ways to engage kids, to get them involved, to have them be part of what we want them to be a part of, which is learning the curriculum.
I got here during the summer and I had 18 letters of resignation on my desk from teachers out of 45. That was really scary. And then the discipline on the first day was shocking. I'd never seen kids that disengaged before. After really fighting hard to stabilize Bates Middle School for the first 3 years, it became obvious that we needed a whole school reform effort.
Because we're an arts integration school, every teacher is expected to use arts integration in their classrooms in some shape or form, in every content area. The idea behind arts integration is that you learn the content area through the art, so it sort of opens a new door to understanding.
One of the things that the arts do is they provide different strategies and different skills that go across all curriculum. Collaboration, problem-solving skills. You have to figure out what will work, and you have to work through it. And sometimes you fail, and you gain from failure. I mean, that's the best thing about the arts. You don't have to be perfect. We need to teach kids that you learn through failure. Take that risk. You take a risk, you're successful. That's a lifelong skill for kids.
We're going to start off with some artful thinking. I'm going to show you another image from the Ars ad Astra project, the art gallery that went to the Mir space station.
Artful thinking is an approach to teaching visual arts through a series of routines, and each routine has a set of questions that the teacher asks about a piece of art, and they're designed around critical thinking skills. What they're doing is showing a piece of art and asking kids to look at it carefully and to make some assumptions about it.
This will be a routine for imagining and observing. Please take a moment to look at the painting. Choose beginning, middle, or end. If this artwork is in the beginning of the story, what might happen next? And if this artwork is the end of the story, what was the story about?
I chose the beginning. I said an International Space Corporation wanted to send a new kind of space probe to each planet of our solar system to study life. And the space probes hold a new kind of animal scientifically made.
Typically they spend 10 seconds looking at a piece. This encourages them to really observe every portion of that painting or artwork, and then it allows their thinking to be visible. We ask ourselves, where are the kids struggling? And we want to then target that standard because we want to approach it through arts integration to find another way to reach them. Maddie, read the learning goal for us, nice and loud.
I will understand and demonstrate rotation and revolution by choreographing a dance.
Thank you very much. Today, you kids are dancing. I wanted my kids to understand rotation and revolution. They frequently mix them up. You will choose a movement from your choreography today, and you will tell me how your movement represents rotation or revolution. So I decided to make 2 dance groups.
If I was totally learning out of a textbook, it wouldn't stick with me, because I'm a visual learner, I'm an active learner, so by doing exciting things, creative things, it sparks my interest, so then my mind keeps it on my mind, like, oh, remember when you did this, remember when you did that. When we have our unit test, then I can know the characteristics of the different planets.
These are all the movements I want to see included in your choreography. I'm going to give you 2, okay?
Okay. Alec is the sun, and you get in the middle, and we all get in a circle at the very beginning.
Everyone who's an expert of each planet, we each go around it however fast the planet tries to
Go! 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 Go!
We've seen a huge difference in the kinds of questions that kids are answering and the kinds of questions teachers are asking, because when they use the art to ask these critical thinking questions, the kids are using skills that they didn't know they had.
Over the last 5 years, we've made significant gains in all of our student groups. For instance, our English language learners have increased their student achievement in math
and in reading by almost 30%. Our special ed scores are jumping higher than we could have even hoped. And we're developing a body of research data that show that arts integration can help struggling students learn those standards.
To see parents that never came into a school all of a sudden be there, to come in and say, thank you, my son is engaged where he never was before. I saw what it did for kids, and it's changed my career. I mean, they say arts are transformative. It transformed me.
So Bates Middle School, like we see in this video here, is an example of an arts integrated approach where kids are not only learning about the content, but also learning the art forms, the two together. So actually using the arts to learn the content. And that's what we're going to try to do a little bit of on Thursday, is think about how we can use the arts to learn about history or to learn about other social studies concepts. So for social studies, why it's important to teach with the arts, there's a couple of reasons in particular. First, it really kind of helps us address different types of questions with kids, and we'll get into that a little bit more on Thursday, but it really can tap into emotions. And so it can help kids understand how people were feeling or are feeling at different times and places, and so it helps them understand why they make the choices they do. Another thing that's really important for social studies, the arts really can reflect an entire culture, and so if we provide students with enough access to different aspects of art from different cultures, they can really understand better instead of in a superficial way. We can also use the arts as a primary source. We can use them as a secondary source, and we can use them for problem solving. And I'm hoping on Thursday, when we do some work with the arts and social studies, we're going to look at how we can do all three of these. So remember to bring your screencast notes to class on Thursday, and I think that's it.